and we're having a good time. In the meantime, let's bring Lisa Egan on. I'm an absolutely fantastic comic. You're going to love her. Can we get some applause from this side? Welcome, Lisa Egan.
How's this for an ironic juxtaposition? I would usually start by apologising to anyone that was like, oh God, I think I'm in front of a speaker. Please, yeah, because I sound like I'm shouting into a baked bin tin. Squeaky.
Move the speaker.
Yeah, I haven't got a lot of room to move here. Hooray! You can hear me now without that awful metal echo. Oh shit. Okay, I'll just talk, excuse the high-pitched shrill, and then there's the speaker as well. So I would usually start off by apologising to anyone that's upset about the fact that they came out to see stand-up comedy. But actually, given the nature of today's gig, I would like to be thankful for this. I would like to say thank you to the NHS's wheelchair service for allowing me to be here today. Because without the NHS wheelchair provision, I would not have been able to get out of my house. I should apologise if I'm a bit rusty at this. I used to be a stand-up comic a few years back, and then I got sick. I've always had my mobility impairment that you can see, but until about 6 years ago I was perfectly healthy, I was free from illness, and now I just spend most of my time laying on the sofa off my tits on extremely strong painkillers. And, you know, just vivid hallucinations, and I'm actually wondering if right now I am actually on my sofa, off my tits, on extremely strong painkillers. This might be slightly more intimidating than the time I thought I was being chased around King's Cross Station by an angry kangaroo. I take a lot of medication, for which I'm also grateful for the NHS for. You know, on a good day I take about 15 different drugs, and on a bad day I take many, many more. This is honestly true, this absolutely happened. Facebook suggested my pharmacist as a person I may know. I went to see my GP on Wednesday. I'm having a bit of a situation where there are drugs I should be taking, drugs the NHS will pay for, and then there's me stuck in the middle. But you know, my doctor said, why, oh, and this is before the cuts kick in, that I can't have the tablets that I need. And my GP said, okay, while you're here, I want to do an asthma review. Presumably to check I still had it, I don't know. But for those of you that aren't asthmatic, the way that they measure how good you are at breathing is they make you blow into a tube about the size of this microphone, and it's got numbers down it that gauge how good you're doing at the breathing thing. So I did a thing, my doctor inputted the numbers into his computer, and he told me that I'm better at blowing than his computer thinks I should be. It's ironic because I'm gay. So yeah, gay, disabled, female. I have been told on many occasions that it's a shame I'm not black. Not so long ago I was at the Royal Free in Hampstead to get a splint for my wrist. I heard some yays, like some oh.
Sorry.
I heard some yays. Does someone work there, or is someone like me a regular there? Or was I just hallucinating the yays? Okay, we'll take that as too many painkillers, Lisa. So anyway, I was at the Royal Free getting a splint for my wrist, and I noticed while I was there was a sign saying, community gynecology this way. I don't want my gynecologic experiences to be a community-based event. You know, is this a portent of things to come with the NHS? You know, well, we can't let you see a doctor, but we could offer you a consultation with the local WI. So, like I said, I used to be a stand-up comic, but now I'm just a professional poorly person. And so I have to live on disability benefits, you know, the ones that are being cut. It was a few years ago, I think it was 2008, the Observer Sex Survey found that 70%, that's 70% of people would never shag a cripple. Now this government, with their cuts to disability benefits, are obviously trying to do something about this, because with the cuts so targeted at us, they're just fucking us all. as you can see, I've recently been to Specsavers. And the only reason I can afford to do this is because living on benefits, I get subsidised NHS eye care, for now anyway. But it was a day of, it was quite a traumatic experience actually, because she told me that I have not just one, but 2 visual defects that require correction by glasses. Firstly, I have a condition called hyperopia, which is just a fancy word for long-sighted. But when she told me, I wondered why she was giving me glasses and not Ritalin eye drops. That went down about as well as my last girlfriend. Brilliant. And the other visual defect that I have is called astigmatism. It means that my eyes are rugby ball shaped. But I'd not heard the word before. And so when she told me, my immediate reaction was, oh God, my hands and feet are going to bleed every Easter. Which is the last thing I need with the NHS hanging on a knife edge. But I think I would probably be okay because I am an atheist. And the reason for that is because I'm disabled. Because I've heard that there's a stairway to heaven. Thank you so much. I was telling the truth, I haven't been able to do this for years because of my health, so I'm just really happy that you've laughed. And it's so good to see so many people out today to defend the NHS that I depend on. So thank you so much.